My boyfriend told me, 4 years in, that he had an STI he had been hiding the whole time, and I went looking for the dates. I am 29. I drive a tanker truck for a regional fuel hauler. I haul gasoline across 3 states, 12 hours a shift, 4 shifts a week. I make $78,000 a year before overtime. I am very good at my job, which I bring up, because for 4 years I let a man named Devin convince me I was lucky he stayed. Devin was a truck driver too when we met. He was 30. When I was 25, he had 3 kids by 2 different women. He moved into my apartment after 8 months. His mother followed 2 years later when she lost her place. She slept in the second bedroom. The 3 kids visited every other weekend. By year 3, I was paying 80% of the bills, 90% of the groceries, and 100% of the school clothes for kids who were not mine. I cooked for 6 people. I worked nights and came home at 6 in the morning to make breakfast and pack lunches, before sleeping for 4 hours and going back. Devin worked days and played video games at night. The reason I had not left was that Devin, twice a month, told me I was the most beautiful woman he had ever known. I had not seen, growing up, what a man who meant those words looked like, so I was building it from a Devin-shaped sketch. In December, I picked up a load at 3 in the morning and was driving south on I-65 when my phone buzzed in the cup holder. It was Devin. He said he had to tell me something. He said he had genital herpes. He said he had had it for about 10 years. He said he had simply never told me, and that his mother had told him over dinner the night before that I had a right to know. I do not remember the next 45 minutes of driving. I do remember pulling into the truck stop in Elkmont, sitting in the cab with the engine off, and watching the sky turn the color of a bruise. The next morning I went to my doctor for a panel. I was negative for everything. I told my doctor what Devin had told me. She looked at me for a long time and said, in her careful clinic voice, that I should ask him for the date and the place of his diagnosis, because that information is on a piece of paper in someone's filing cabinet for at least 7 years. I drove home and asked Devin. He told me the year. He told me the city, which was a city he had lived in for 6 months when he was 20. He could not name the clinic. He said I was being weird about it. I called every clinic in that city the next day on my lunch break. There were 4. I asked each of them, with the relevant year, whether a Devin Albright had ever been a patient. One said yes. I asked them, very politely, what the date of his first positive test had been. It was not 10 years ago. It was 3 years ago. I had been with him a year by then. I had been sleeping with only him for that year. I sat on the running board of my truck, and I did not move for a long time. I drove home that night. I made dinner. I waited for Devin's mother to go to bed. I sat down across from him at the kitchen table and asked him to tell me, again, the year of his diagnosis. He gave the same year as before. I asked him if he was sure. He said yes. I said the clinic had told me different. I said the year out loud. He went the color of unbleached flour. The story changed 3 times in 5 minutes. The third version was that he had cheated on me, once, with a coworker, 3 years ago. He had not gotten tested for 9 months. By then he had a cluster of sores he could not explain to himself. He had gotten the test. He had cried in the parking lot. He had gone home and not told me. I asked him how many times he had had unprotected sex with me in the 9 months between the cheating and the diagnosis. He said he didn't remember. I asked again. He said a lot. I asked, in the most level voice I have ever produced, whether his mother knew. He said she had figured it out a year ago. She had finally given him an ultimatum the night before he told me. His mother was not protecting me. She was protecting herself, in case I caught it and sued. I left in the morning. I drove the U-Haul to my mother's place in Tennessee that weekend. I left Devin a folder on the kitchen table with the clinic's confirmation letter, the dates side by side, and a single post-it that said, I asked you twice. You not contact me. He has tried to contact me through his daughter's phones, his mother's phone, his nephew's email, and 1 fake number. I blocked them all. My mother and I split the rent now. I sleep 8 hours a night. I keep the clinic's confirmation letter in a folder on top of my dresser. I am still negative on every panel. The truck I drove the day he called me has a new tire on the front passenger side. I look at that tire sometimes when I'm doing my pre-trip, and I think about the bruise-colored sky, the cab going quiet, and the 4 phone calls I made on my lunch break that ended a 4-year relationship in 9 minutes flat. I have not been late on a load since.